Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to episode 25 of Victoria's Cozy Toes. Sorry, I needed to check my notes. And yeah, today is Sunday, the 29th of March, and I'm Vicky. I'm a knitter and a crocheter living in Derby in the United Kingdom. Sorry, I've not got my glasses on, so I couldn't read my notes. And I've not got my glasses on because the light's reflecting from the window in them, which is really annoying. So I'm a knitter and crocheter and I live in Derby. So what am I wearing? I'm going to start with what I'm wearing before I go into what I've been up to. I am wearing my cabled hoodie. So you can just see the cable down the front here. It's got a matching cable on the arms and it has got a cable on the back and on the hood. If I bring the hood up, the hood's a bit big really. You can just see the cable there. As I say, the hood really is a little bit bigger than I wanted it. It's the one thing that really stretched blocking. So yes, I showed it last time as finished but not blocked. You can see with the blocking it's just loosened the sleeves off, which I love. The only thing I've not done is sew the zip in yet. Now I did get some video earlier of me wearing this and I will try and insert the video here. If that fails, I'll put it at the end of the video. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I've worn it quite a bit. It's super soft and snuggly. I say, really, I just need to go on the sewing machine and sew the zip in. And do you know what? The sewing machine, I've bought the sewing machine down from upstairs. It's sitting in my lounge. I need to just do it. Not my lounge, my dining room rather. I'm in the lounge. So, what have I been up to over the last few weeks? I haven't finished another item. I know. It has only been 2.5 weeks rather than 3 weeks, but yeah, I've not got another finish. However, I do have a couple of half-finished items. So the first half-finished item is in my penguin bag. And this is a bag from the Woolly Tangle that I absolutely love. I love the size of it and everything. It's penguins. Yeah, you can see a needle sticking out of it. I have already recorded this once entirely on my phone with the microphone, only to find the microphone didn't work and the whole video had no sound. So I'm now recording on my laptop. I was having to get back to filming on my phone because I think it's just a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm now back on my laptop. Take 2. So these are my undulation mitts. And I may or may not have been about there when I last filmed. May have been a bit less. I'd already moved the markers on everything. So the ones I could work out I've put back. I'm guessing I don't think I'd started the thumb increases on this. Last time I think I was a bit further down. Yeah. So this pattern is by, I'll put the designer down the bottom because I can't remember who. And is, you can see it on my wrist a bit better. It's got this beautiful cabled design on it. You just see that there, I think. Now, the pattern itself gives you options for a short and a long mitt, and also tells you how to adapt it. So I've put an extra repeat in the bottom here because I wanted it to come further down, and I've put an extra repeat in the top here to come further up, and I've made the thumb longer. And that's purely because that's what I like in a mitt. So yeah, so I've completed the first one entirely. Take the marker back out. So they are left and right, and you do knit them as left and right. So that's the left one. I'm on the second repeat of the pattern of the right one. You can just see that there. So I'm going to pop the marker on the right one. I would like to have these done in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time when I next record. Realistically, they're relatively quick once you're doing them. They're just a little bit fiddly. So the yarn I'm using for this is from Creative Anarchy. There's her label. And it's the Queen of the North colourway. And I've got it in the 100% superwash merino. So I'm looking, actually it's got quite a metre in it. It's 450 metres to 100 grams. And I bought this at Stafford Wool Gathering last year, specifically to make fingerless mitts, which is why I went for 100% merino. As I say, if I'm carrying things and everything, that's the sort of thing I like to wear. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Hopefully we'll get that one finished fairly quickly. So that's my first half finished object. My second half finished object is in my bag from Piccadilly, here. And also, the whole project is also in my sheep. And this is my summer socks. So I'm using King Cole Summer as the label. And this is a non-wool sock yarn. So it's 55% bamboo, 37% cotton, and 8% PBT. And you get 450 metres of this to 100 grams. So I have completed. So I pulled out. I have multiple balls of this, and I pulled out the fruit punch colourway, and I have made my first sock. Here we are. How would that, do you think, it'd be my thumbnail? So this, I've used the everyday sock pattern, and I'll put the design below because I can't remember, it was off the top of my head. And on the first day of cast-ons, I reached, at that point, I'd picked up the heel, I was back in the round. Again, I'd moved the marker because I'd finished talking about it. So this is my first sock. This fits me really nicely. I've made this sock pattern with this yarn a couple of times, and sort of tweaked it each time, and I think now I'm pretty much where I want to be with it. So that's my first sock. A tangle. We've got in a tangle. Here is my second sock. So these socks look really long, and that's because it's quite a fine yarn. I find it works better on a 2mm needle. So I think that's a US 0. Yes, I'm using a 2mm sock needle. Magic Loop, which I always use for socks. You say, because it's quite fine. These socks do have a little bit of something in the middle. It's paid for pattern, I'm not going to go into too much, but it just helps it grip your foot a bit better. You can sort of see it going in and out there. And because of that, I find I need to make them a little bit longer. So yeah, so I'm on the second sock. This may or may not be a pair for that sock, because so I can get 2 pairs out of this ball of these socks, and that's my intention, is to get 2 pairs out of this ball, and then decide how they pair up. But the actual project 12, which is my 12th cast on project, my 12th cast on. The project is not just to use this yarn up and do the 2 balls, two pairs of socks in fruit punch. I also want to do 1 pair in this can, and I say 1 pair because I've already done a pair in this and they came up way too small. So there's definitely enough for another pair there. There might be a bit left over, but then if I need the other struggle, then give me a bit. And also do 2 pairs in the iris colourway. The reason I didn't choose this one first is because I would just do this all the time. I want this to be the last one because it's incentive to do the other 2 pair balls first, and then I've got the pretty pinks and purples at the end. So originally planned, 5 pairs of socks, which is why I went, it's March and I've not finished a sock. If I'm using 10, 5 pairs I need to do. Really, a pair every 2 months, which ain't too much. Yesterday I was doing part of my going through my stash, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, and I found a 4th colour option in this Summer Way yarn, which is Neptune, which is gorgeous blues. I know I've done 1 pair of socks in this already, so again, there's only 1 pair of socks worth. So I've got 2 half balls and 2 full balls. So I'm going to do 6 pairs of socks as part of this project in this year. Well, hang on, last year I did 12 pairs of socks and 12 pairs of children's socks in 12 months. So there's no, well, I did more than that probably, but there's no reason why I can't get this done. I just need to work on it, which, let's be honest, there's lots of other things I've put out there. Some other things I want to work on. Now, most of my knitting time over the last 2 and a bit weeks has gone on one project. I'm going to be honest, I've not been quite monogamous because it does get to the point if I had enough I need a break, but I have prioritised doing one project, and that is this. And it's out because I was working on it this morning. For those that are new or haven't picked up, I'm quite a big Formula 1 fan, and there was a race this morning. The race started at 6 o'clock. Was I down here watching at 6 o'clock? No. It was about 6:30. I'd recorded it, so I started watching the recording so that I didn't get told the result before I'd watched the race, which happened yesterday with qualifying. But that's what happens. So that is I'm still on a needle. I've not put needle stoppers on. Let me just put the needle stoppers on, which would be sensible, so it's safe, won't it? This is my Tydes cardigan. Last time you saw this, and I think I was somewhere around here on the front. Not quite sure. Possibly out there. I hadn't finished the body. I hadn't split for front and backs even, but I have now. As you can see, there is an entire body. Oops, sit back so you can see the body. Look at it from the back because it's prettier on the back. Not only is there a body, and this is where you can really tell, I've done the button bands on both sides, and I've done the collar band, neckband, that sleeve. Now, and then I've started the second sleeve. This is why it's a bit chaotic because I've got yarn coming everywhere. Oh, the yarn's decided to tangle itself around the other cable. That'll be why it's really not playing. Let's sort that. Now, what I will say, this is the Tydes cardigan by Rebecca Clow, who's a creabea. I love the patterning on the cardigan. And again, this is a really good example of how colours change a pattern. If you look at the patterns where pattern pictures she's got, and all of them, they're all stripy. Both the jumper and cardigan are done in stripes. So you do this, but you stripe your yarns. I like this lace pattern. You can probably see it better. If I bring it a bit close, you can see it on the front there. You see it on the sleeve as well. What I would say, I'll tell you, but doing it in one colour, it looks really different. Now, what I did when I finished the body, I say paid for patterns, I don't want to go into too much, but once I'd finished the body and joined the shoulders, I pinned it out and sprayed it with Yarn Foods blocking spray. So it's not going to full soak, but it just relaxed everything before I picked up any of the bands or the sleeves, which is why there's quite a difference between the appearance of the sleeve and the body with how it looks because of the blocking. And that makes it, I find, for me, that makes it easier to pick everything up if it's been blocked. Now, what I will say is the entire body, so the entirety of this body, which is longer than the pattern says, all the bands, and this sleeve, down to this little bit of yarn here, were 2 skeins of yarn. Just 2 skeins. This sleeve is a fresh skein, which is what I have attached here. So I reckon I'm only going to use the 3. What yarn is it? Good question. It is Giddy Aunt yarn. There's the label. Now, I have a feeling, well, I got this on eBay, first of all, last year, and it's the Merino Mohair Singles fingering weight. So I'm using fingering weight yarn for double knit pattern on 4mm needles. I have a feeling when I soak it, it's going to bloom quite a bit more. because it is 56% merino single, 44% mohair, 400 meters to 100 grams. So I think, as I say, it's going to bloom quite a bit, which is one of the reasons I've done it as this. As I have a feeling when I looked her up when I bought this on eBay that she no longer dyes as Giddy YarnNYarns, but does dye for linked to a shop in Northern Ireland. I can't remember. If you look it up online, you'll probably find out. Yeah. I'm loving the yarn. What I would say is, again, this is an example of how sometimes tweaking things makes a difference. I started this last July, this cardigan. As I say, I love it. Really matches. It almost matches my t-shirt today, I've realised. I absolutely love the colourway. I got probably can't really see where I got fed up because I say it's blocked. But I say I probably got 6 inches done of the body. And went, do you know what? I'm not enjoying this. Put it to one side, put it away. Over the autumn, was thinking about it. I thought, I'm going to frog it. I'm going to frog that when I go through my yarn. When I go through the projects, it's going frogged. Why have I not worked on this? It's beautifully soft and silky, and it's such a soft, beautiful fabric. And I thought about this over the last few weeks as I've been working on it, going, well, why didn't I enjoy this before? And I've come up with a couple of different things. One reason I didn't enjoy working on it was the fibre. So this is mohair, has mohair. It's not quite 50%. And I was working on it in hot weather. It was sticky. It was horrible. I didn't want to work on it. Working on it now in the cooler weather, it's been fine. So that's me learning that I don't like mohair fabric in summer. I can cope with that. That's fine. The other thing was it has a stitch. Obviously, with the lace, it has a stitch repeat. And I would get to the end of the row and find that I was out of stitch. My stitch number was wrong. I'd be like, why have I done what's wrong? Pain in the... and having to think back looks. So I decided when I picked this up this time to put markers every stitch repeat. And I think I showed that last time. But you can also see on the sleeve here, I show that sleeve. I'm going to pick it up. You can just see the markers there. I've marked every lace repeat. And that's made such a difference because do you know what? I can do a lace repeat dead quick now. And if I'm out within that set number. I can pick up mistakes much, much quicker. And I have picked up mistakes much quicker as well. So yeah. Between those two things, I've come to love it again. So again, as I say, it's sometimes when and how you know these things that makes a difference. So I say that has seen most of my work this last couple of weeks. I have done the tiniest amount of crochet in that I've done 4 of the small squares of the imagination quilt and probably 2 hexagons. Yeah, I say I'm going to show those. If I get an entire month's hexagons done, I'll show those. And again, I'll show the imagination quilt squares when I've sewn them into a bigger square. Because my plan is to finish... Well, I find there are times when I've just had enough of the knitting. So I might then do a bit of crochet. So when I've done the next 12 blocks, I think it is, and block those, I'll have 2 squares worth to sew. So I'll sew the 2 squares and show them at that point. And that's how I'm going to work it. So yeah, I have picked up one further project over the last couple of weeks, and that's my Basketweave cardigan. So that's this one here. One there. From woolbaa. And last time you saw this, again, I've already moved the marker on this, sorry. But last time you saw this, I had finished the back. And that's the back. A long cardigan. Again, I've pinned this and sprayed it to block it, just to help ready for when I sew up the next bits. In fact, am I showing you the wrong side there? Quite possibly, yeah, that's the front. That's the front. So I did cast on the left front. Yes, it's the left front. So you see, I've already moved the marker because I filmed once. The left front, it's already got quite a long, as you can see. I have done, seeing the markers on this side, all the decreases here. So this matches your decreases on the back panel. And I've just started the decreases for the V-neck. This marker here is because it's a paid for pattern, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Not telling numbers, but as I say, you can see that you knit this rib panel as you go up the front. That's your bottom band. That's your bottom band. And actually, even then, when I do the other side, you put your buttons in. That's it. You don't have to pick up. I think I am going to change how they do the neck bit of the button band and do a bit of picking up rather than sewing. But that's it. But as I say, yes, so this is where I'm up to. I really enjoy this. It's quite meditative because it is just count to a number. But yeah, I've been prioritising the other one. Don't know why. I think because that's been on the needles longer, I want it done. I also want to get to the next 4-ply cardigan because I've decided which one it's going to be, and it keeps looking at me going, me, and I look at the other one I've got like it and go, yeah, you next. So yeah, this one, again, I want it done because I want to wear it in summer, so I will work on it a bit. So that's all the actual knitting. Excuse me, having a quick drink. So then I guess we come to the incoming. Yeah. I know I said last time there was some stuff that was due to have arrived and hadn't arrived, so I had admitted to some of this last time, but not quite all of it. All of it. She says, looking around. So most of my incoming is my use not fat, use fluffy bag. So the first 3 incoming are mini skeins. So they're only mini skeins, they're only diddy. Where's the other one? There. And these are from Truly Hooked. There we are. So there's another Lando's helmet. There's the Cadillac Valtteri Bottas World Tour and the Audi colourways. These are part of her Formula 1 collection. And I said last time I'd ordered them because I'm knitting a scarf for my friend very similar to my cow. And it would be very similar and it would go round and round. So it's double layer scarf. Just going to change how I start it. Use the Gigi's Magic Cast on the bottom. And then probably kitchen at the top so it's nice and flat. And these colours are for her to go in that, just to give her a bit longer scarf. So, and she wanted the other 2 teams. So I had said about these last time. They've arrived. They can go in that project. They are part of that project. I also said last time that I'd ordered a DK with nylon. Not sure if it's going to be a nice bright hat for me for when I swim outdoors or for her. I haven't decided. But one of us is having a nice bright hat. Probably me, unless I look at it and go, ew. No, I suspect it was me because it'd be a really good one for swimming. So that's the first incoming. The next one was very much an impulse buy. Very, very much an impulse buy. And it is in plastic, I'm sorry. And this was seeing something on Instagram of I'm selling off mystery skein packs to get rid of odds and ends. So it's from Creative Anarchy. So it's still in plastic because I haven't worked out where it's living and I've not recorded it anywhere. So the 2 on the ends are both merino nylon and stellina, and the one in the middle is the merino silk high twist. This one is, so from this end is the countdown is not helping, skyline and falling. So yes, beautiful colours. I say she just did a mystery pack of 3. This one there is actually the option to say colours you particularly didn't want, which I liked because say I'm not somebody who likes yellows. Does not do anything for me, yellow and orange. She says with bright yellow hat, but yeah, for specific reasons fine, but I didn't want to be adding that to my stash. So that's that one. And so that is in plastic. And then I have just 3 more. Just I'm hiding in shame. And these are all discreet unicorn ones. So, discreet unicorn has shut her shop, and she was selling her last skeins on eBay. So this is a cotton air. It's a DK weight. Might well go into my DK hat project for the because it would fit quite nicely with that. This is a sport weight merino silk blurple. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's beautiful. And it just sat and sang at me, so it had to come home. It had to come to me because it was sitting and singing at me. And the final one is a one of a kind, very bright rainbow with neon leps in. Haven't got a clue what that's going to be. Actually, I do. I might have an idea. Got an idea. We'll see if that comes off. I have got an idea of this one. That would work. I think that would look really good. That might work. Might be for my niece. So yeah, pop those in there, out of the way. And that can go. Leave those out because they are going away in the other project straight away. That's not quite all that's come in though. So yesterday I was at Knit Group and having a flick through. Well, we were looking at the yarns, and should we start with the yarn? Yeah, let's start with the yarn. This yarn's come back into stock. This is King Cole Firefly. I've got it in Violet Dropwing. As you can see, it is beautiful. You get all these colours, but it's quite dark. And I was thinking with the dark, that would look gorgeous as a little cardigan over dresses in the summer. It is an Aran weight. I can see myself knitting this quite quickly. To be honest, I can see myself knitting this sooner than some of the other stuff that's on my needles. I don't need another cast on, but I might do. I know I said I had to finish 2 things and I've finished more than that, so. I was looking at the patterns for the Firefly and I really liked, this has already got screwed up in my bag, this pattern without the ties. I don't like these ties here. I'm sorry, I just don't like them. They don't do anything for me. But I'm thinking this cardigan with the little detailing over a dress would look absolutely beautiful. It's got that little bit of lace to it. And as I say, chose this colourway to do it in. So it's King Cole 6445 is the pattern. And I've got 6 of these, which is what it says you need. And were the last 6 they had in this colourway as well. What I would say about this pattern, yes, I like the little jacket. Yes, I like the pattern. I'm not impressed at King Cole on their sizing. I'm not, I say I'm broad, but I'm size 20. Let's be honest, I'm size 20. I'm on the biggest size of that pattern. So it's not great size inclusivity, is it? So yeah. So I mentioned looking at my stash. Now, I've been trying for the last couple of years to find a way that works for me to record what I've got in stash so that I know what I've got and what I've used, and when I'm thinking about projects, can think about what I could use for projects. Last year, I was really organised. I got everything out. I covered my lounge in my yarn. Well, going back a couple of years before that, I had a bit of a yarn for lunch, I called it. And my sofa I had at the time broke. Moving it out, all the yarn just fell everywhere. And that's when I put the Kallax unit in that you've seen occasionally at that side. And obviously, putting the Kallax in, I had to sort yarn out into the new boxes. Didn't really record anything. I think I might have put it all on, most of the stuff was on Ravelry, but again, didn't use it particularly, didn't record stuff. And I was looking at trying to find a different way last year. I did a spreadsheet. I have a beautiful spreadsheet of all my yarn. As of that date, I haven't taken stuff out of it. I haven't added to it. I just don't do it. And that's then obviously not working for me. So I was having a think. I've been watching a few podcasts, and I think it was Kirsty from Kirsty Knit Sews was talking about her notebook that she's got with all her yarn in, and I sort of thought it might work for me. And then I got a mystery bag from Stationery Shop because I wanted one thing in it. I wanted one thing in this bag. The price of the bag was pretty much the price of that one item, so you can't complain too much. And it had this beautiful notebook in. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try doing a notebook of my yarns, but I cannot face getting everything out in one hit. I just can't do it. It's not in me this year. So what I've done is, so far I have 3 sections, which is hand-dyed sock yarn. Now that I've been quite specific, it has to have nylon in it. Commercial sock yarns and hand-dyed 4-ply. So I've so far gone through 1 big and 2 small boxes. So the big box, I got plastic boxes in IKEA that fit the calyx unit. So the big one fits it completely. The small one, half a calyx, so 2 of them together fit a calyx unit, calyx hole, if you know what the calyx is. Most people know it's the square unit. So I have gone through, so for my hand-dyed sock yarn, I've recorded who the dyer is. So this tape is specific to that. So that if I fill the pages up and have to go and put more pages further on, I can use the same tape plan. So I say I've recorded who the dyer is, what they've called the colour, what colours it's got in it, and its weight and meterage. So some, a bit more, because I've got this one here, I've got it as 120 metres, 510 grams, and I suspect it's this pink and orange Michigan. I suspect it's got a mini with it. So there's some self-striping things. So yeah, tell myself a bit more about the yarn. So I've got nearly 2 pages so far of hand-dyed sock yarn. Do I have a problem? Anyway, I've got a blank page because I've set this page already. Then I went through and looked at what commercial I've got and say, remember, this isn't everything by a long, long way. This is just the bits I've done. And this is more about me being accountable for my yarn. This isn't me showing off. This isn't me saying, look how amazing my yarn stash is. This is me going, how can I be accountable and use to what I've got and use it wisely? So, as I say, this is all commercial. So again, I've got whose it is, what the colourway is, what the colours are, weight and meterage. Now, for commercial, I've got a part used column at the end. And that's because there are some, like this Coop Knits Radiant, which is a purple colourway. I've used some of that for cuffs, heels, toes and socks. That's fine. That's what a lot of these solid colours in commercial I use them for. But I know that that's not a full 50 grams now. So when I go to it, I need to just check how much I've got, make sure it's enough for what I need. So it just gives me that balance. So I have got another page for that. I know there's some more YarnSmiths stored somewhere else, and probably some other bits. Then this one, I only started this yesterday because I did try and have themed boxes, but it's changed. And you can't really read the green writing on there at all, but I can. So this is 4-ply yarn that's not sock yarn. So again, I'm recording who the dyer is, what the colourway is, and any colours, and then what the yarn content is on this. So for example, I've got some 100% merino, I've got some merino yak, I've got some merino bamboo, I've got alpaca silk, I've got cashmere silk, merino, yak, I've said that already, tencel. So I have a whole selection of fibres there. Now, when I was looking for something, thinking about doing some new fingerless mitts, wherever they've gone, I don't know where that's gone, and I went and bought myself some new yarn for that. I've got some very similar colourway yarns in those boxes that I could have used. I didn't know they were there. I'd forgotten they were there. So that's sort of why I'm doing this as much as anything, so I can go, do you know what? I'd like to do some fingerless mitts for somebody. Do you know what? What have I got that's not just basic? Or actually, do you know what? This is for somebody who's not so bothered. What colourways I know they like. Oh look, I've got this Winter Wonderland. It's a white and aqua. And they'd like that. That's the idea, is that it gives me that accountability and that record. And I can see how much I'm using. And obviously I'm not recording stuff that's in projects at the moment. But like, for example, this cardigan that I think I'm going to have a good skein in a bit left over. It's then a decision on what I do with it. Do I put it back to stash, or do I get rid of it? And when I say get rid of it, I don't mean throw it away, I mean sell it. So I have pulled out, I'm trying to think, I think I pulled out 11 or 12 skeins so far that I've gone, why am I keeping them? I'm never going to use them. Let's get rid. I've sold 3 so far. And one more is waiting for me to see somebody because they said they want it. And there are some that I haven't offered yet. But yeah, so the idea is, excuse me, itchy. Hay fever's horrendous. Is to go through stuff. Actually, if there's stuff I'm not going to use, get rid. If there's stuff I am going to use, record it so I know what I've got. And so I'm trying to do it a box or 2 at a time. So I might try doing a couple of boxes from under the sofa this afternoon. We'll see. See what I feel like. Yeah. But just keep going, get it all recorded, and then go from there with it. So that's my plan with that. So I think it's all the knitting stuff and where we are with everything in Chaos Land. As I say, hopefully I will have the fingerless mitts and the cardigan finished by the next time I record in 3 weeks' time. Who knows? So live stuff. So last time I was partway through a week off work, and I mentioned that I was hopefully getting a new car. That finally did come on the Thursday. And so far it's been lovely. I love it. Which sounds really sad, but the fact that I can put everything in the boot, I'm not having to put stuff in the car all the time, is amazing. And that was my real bugbear with the other one. Apart from the fact of its age, and it was just starting to show its age big time. So yeah. And then been to knit group on a Saturday. I've not made Thursday night group for ages. So I feel I'd like to make it, but I'm so often in Chesterfield on a Friday that it's just making it a real challenge to go on a Thursday because I'm normally knackered. My student's finished at work with mixed feelings. She just got to sort of the last week or so, she got to the stage where she could do my clinic. Pretty much could do my clinic with a little bit of help. Because I work at a faster pace than I'd expect a grad to work at. But she was pretty much at it. And she's now finished, so it is what it is. Still covering Chesterfield quite a bit, which again has its pros and cons. Biggest con is I can't park my car very well at the moment. So stopping at the yarn shop on the way back, I'm not confident enough about parking yet. We'll get there. It's definitely the biggest car I've ever had, so yeah. Next weekend's Easter, so I'm heading to Manchester for the weekend, and I'm also meeting up with some friends, which will be nice. And that's really about it. Yeah. As I say, plan is to take the cardigan and the socks to Manchester, and possibly some crochet, because my oldest niece has asked about crocheting. So we're thinking if I've got some, she can have a look. And then when we go away in the end of May, she will take some stuff she can practice then. We're not doing it till then. I'm going to need a lot of time for that one. Yeah, and that's about it where we are with life, really. Life carries on as ever. So yeah, I hope everyone stays well, enjoys the short Easter break or long Easter break if you're a teacher and you've got longer off with the kids. Enjoy some chocolate, but not too much. And I will see you in 3 weeks' time. Bye.